A blessing, it's not a feeling you could really describe, but after being gone after 2 years, it definitely was a blessing to actually be back with the boys.
Not many guys can say, "Hey, my first carry in college was a touchdown."
Right, right.
Yours was. Talk about the play. Talk about just what you were feeling, and when you got in the end zone, you were actually able to lay a hit on the guy going into the end zone. Had to feel pretty good.
Definitely. The play actually, it wasn't nothing much to the play. It was just, I actually, before I got on the field, I was just thinking about how Coach Fisher, preached about practice and just thinking about how the game is just like practice. So before I was getting in the game, I was just thinking about, this is just practice. So going against our defense, I felt pretty comfortable going in the game and running the zone play,
Did it mean any more just because everything you've gone through the past couple of years, did it mean that much more to score like that?
It kind of did. It kind of did in a sense, but, not really. It was just the heat of the moment. You really can't describe how the feeling was,
You're a guy that when we go back and listen to the TV broadcast, the announcers are kind of saying, "Man, look at these guys. The guy the moves this guy's putting on people."
Right.
Talk about your running style. If you had to describe yourself as a back, what would it be?
I say I'm a pretty quick slasher, speed, and I try to. Since I got the speed and I'm pretty quick, I try to bring the power with it, So that's how you could sum it up, I guess.
Talk about just about a little bit about the last couple of years, just seeing your teammates play when obviously you couldn't. What was that experience like, and how much did you grow from that?
That was a wonderful experience, actually. After being behind Chris Thompson, James Wilder, Devontae Freeman, and now, Carlos Williams, it's a blessing. And then the O-line and having the chemistry and being there with them boys for the past 2 years is also another blessing. So, it's just a feeling that, like I say, once again, you can't describe being out there with them boys. It's just, once you're out there, you just get in the zone, and it takes off from there.
You had a great experience playing at the Cowboy Stadium, seeing that whole atmosphere. I mean, how big that was.
Definitely.
This weekend, you get to come back here, and the place is probably going to be sold out, and it's going to be a night game, and the crowd's going to be pretty amped up. Home opener.
Right.
Talk about the emotions you're going to be feeling running on that field for the first time, really being able to play a real game here.
Well, Coach say see a little, see a lot, see nothing. So I'm gonna try to tone everything else out and just focus on the game this Saturday.
What's it like to be back at home knowing you're going to play in front of your home guys here?
It's always a blessing. It's always a blessing.
For you, where do you go from here? As a running back, how do you grow from game to game now?
Practice. Every week in practice. You just got to keep going harder. You got to go higher and keep executing and doing the best you could do.
For you too, I mean, there's still a lot of improvement the running game can do from last week into this week. How much of a sense of pride did you guys even take in practice today with that?
We really cleaned up more technique wise, and we went over our mistakes in the MA. So it's a lot. It's always time for improvement. It's always you can always improve in whatever in the running game. So that's a step we took in cleaning up techniques and footwork.
Now, you were mentioned earlier, sitting behind Devontae and
Right.
Wilder and Chris Thompson.
Right.
Who did you learn the most from in that experience? Maybe not about on the field stuff, but just about life and just and having to sit that amount of time.
Actually, I can speak on all three. For one, Chris Thompson, man, that was an unbelievable worker and very humble, and he was very humble. James Wilder, that was wild, man. He showed that wild side of him, and I really picked that up from him also. And Devontae Freeman, I can say Devontae Freeman I really learned the most from because the passion he really had from it and the way he worked and dedicated himself to the game, I really, picked a lot of that up from Devontae Freeman, and I really respect him for that.
He was a guy, too, that he didn't come from anything, came from inner city Miami. How much of a, maybe not looking at yourself like that,
Right.
but saying, look what Devontae is now. Look what the hard work really led him to do.
That's actually true, and I believe that's why I really related to Devontae Freeman so much more than the other guys. No disrespect to the other guys, but, since I came in, Devontae Freeman took me in as a little brother and said, we came from nothing, and then, this is all we got right now, so why not give it your all while you got it,
For you too, Citadel, can't really look at them as like, oh, it's just Citadel or an FCS team. It's still the next game. It's still getting better.
Yes, sir.
How much of an improvement do you guys want to make from last week to this week, and no matter who the team is you're playing?
Yeah. Coach Fisher said no opponent has a face. So, we go out and we execute what Florida State does, and that's all we could do.